okay, this is built over the years, but it seems like the more I do wide zone, the more emphasis I've been putting on the second step. I think there's a ton of, that's where your power comes from, so I'm taking that first step at my target, okay, but it's all about getting that second step on the ground at or slightly before contact. That's going to give me the power. You see all kinds of problems, okay, when that second step is still in the air when they make contact, okay? So we've been working a ton on that, okay? Okay, see, I jumped through my notes here. Okay, we're going to get that down, and then our backhand is going to catch. That's where the catch hand principle comes from, okay? And what that means is I'm going to lead with my front side hand, just like Joe called it a rake, okay? We don't wind up quite as much, but we're going to come with that back. That backhand's going to trail, okay, and come right underneath. Dan talked about grabbing the ribs. We're talking about getting it right underneath the armpit, okay? And that is a key element to me to allow you to get off the ball. What that catch hand's going to do is it's going to really help me get on the guy. So if I was blocking Bob right here and I was going to the left, I can go like a mother at his play side, at that play side pec, okay, middle outside pec, okay? And we've all been there, particularly if you played. I can remember having this thought as a player. Okay, coach says get off the ball, and here I come. I'm going to lead step and get off the rock. And first time it works great. I roll him up. The next time I take that step, he goes slanting, I go flying on my face. What's my third rep going to look like? Like this. I'm going to feel my way into that block. So the catch hand to me is your insurance to allow you to come off the ball. Okay, so I'm going to take this step. It's going to help me in another way later. But if I were to get that inside slant, it's not so much I'm going to stop that player, okay, as it's going to pull me onto him. Okay? Because what's the back doing now? He's running outside of me, right? Just like the first clip we saw. It does not have to be pretty, okay, but it's got to pull me on it. There's a secondary benefit we'll talk that's going to come up in this next slide, okay, that's very important, but work a ton. It used to be, to your point, Bob, it used to be, man, I really worked on that thing, grabbing cloth and locking it down. And to me now, I probably de-emphasize that a little bit, as long as it's getting there and pulling me where I need to go, if that makes sense. We'll see some good and bad examples here coming up. Okay, and that's what we're talking about. So the catch hand number one allows me, the true catch hand, the actual catch hand, not the reach. Okay, the true catch hand allows me to come off the ball, okay, with some confidence. It's going to help me right the ship if I'm getting some slants and that type of thing. But this is actually where it started going, was by the same token, if I'm threading his gap with my angle, right, and the back's reading it right, if he slants inside, the back's going outside my block somewhere, right? Okay, well the opposite's true. If I'm going at this chair and he's deciding to play whatever gap that is outside of me, and I take a step at that chair and it expands, guess where the ball's going? Inside of me, right? So that's where the catch hand came from, is I'm going to drive, it's going to be 1, 2, it's about that third step, okay? 3 seems to be a big number in the outside zone scheme. I'm no different. I'm talking threes all the time. About that third step, I'm going to feel that fallback to go make the tackle, if that guy's any good. To me, that's the catch hand. It pulls me back on him, allows me to turn my block vertical. He expanded, I locked him up. Okay, and then we talk about what we call the moment of truth. We always keep track. Okay, I'm locked up with that defender. That ball's running by me. To me, it's your job to make that defender make one of two choices. Okay, we're fine with either one of them. Okay, if he's not a team player, he can choose to defend himself and fight my pressure. In that case, the ball gets to run right by him. Okay, we like that deal. Okay, he probably is a good team player, and he'll try and make the tackle, and our job is to make sure, even if he makes the tackle, that his hat's going back towards his goal line on the back side. And we call that the moment of truth, just as something to kind of emphasize that point right there. Okay, there he was. He was expanding right there. Okay, and then he goes. And then that was the first point I make. If he slants, it pulls you onto him. Not always perfect, But if you in the back are in conjunction, okay, it's enough to get the ball where it needs to go.